G'day, my name's Bob, and here is my 5-minute contribution to the seemingly impossible challenge of achieving world peace. And no one would argue that the whole world's an incredible mess at the moment. We've got numerous countries living under the constant threat of terrorist attacks. Millions of people are living under cruel, oppressive dictatorships. Tens of thousands of children are dying every day from poverty-related causes, and millions of other children are suffering extreme cruelty and injustices. Throughout the world, everybody's hoping for a national or international leader to emerge who'll have the solutions to all the world's problems. What people don't realise is that we've already had that perfect leader in the man Jesus, and he left us with an extremely simple but perfect solution to world peace. You could summarise it in one sentence. It said, love God and love your neighbour. How simple is that? So, how do we implement this simple, perfect solution? There's a short story in the New Testament which is well known as the parable of the Good Samaritan. Now, through that parable, Jesus made it clear to us that what loving your neighbour is all about is responding with compassion to the people you encounter through your life who are suffering or experiencing some form of hardship. So that looks after the loving your neighbour part to the solution of world peace. What about the loving God part? That's a bit more abstract, a bit more difficult to understand because we can't see him, hear him or touch him. Well, there's an answer to that question in a short Bible verse which says, if anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, then God lives in him and he in God. So according to that Bible verse and several others, by sincerely making that one-sentence statement of acknowledgement, we can enter into a loving father-child relationship with God. Now, it seems logical that if God is the creator of all of life, then that would automatically make him the universal authority on love and wisdom. So if he lives in us, then surely we can expect him to guide us in the ways of perfect love and wisdom in every situation. Now, imagine the positive impact our lives could have on others if we were consistently guided and driven by the love and wisdom that is inspired by maintaining a close relationship with God. Imagine the extreme situation where all the government leaders in the world were guided by the same love and wisdom in developing their government policies and planning their national budgets. Instead of allocating trillions of dollars to defence, more money could be allocated to establishing initiatives that were designed to eliminate starvation, homelessness and every other form of human suffering in the world. As you know, there are various countries in the world at the moment where thousands of people are starving to death while their government leaders continue to allocate enormous portions of their nation's limited available funds to establishing military power. Can you see how most of the suffering in the world can be related either directly or indirectly to the choice of individuals or leaders to ignore this very simple teaching of Jesus to love God and love your neighbour? I'm suggesting that we have access to enormous world-transforming power that could be released through the increasing application of this very simple teaching of Jesus. However, although it's so simple, very few people are following it, which is why the whole world remains in such a mess. Now, everybody wants to experience fulfillment in life, and yet this is where I believe the ultimate fulfillment will be found. We can all be part of the solution to world peace and harmony amongst all people. Now, Jesus once said, what good is it for man to gain the whole world if he loses his soul? When you think of it, we're only on this planet for up to 100 years in these bodies, which is a very short part of eternity. So why not use that time to be as much of a blessing as possible to others? Have a look at a couple of short documents on my website which expand a bit on what I've said here today. The website is answersforlife.com.au. And if you've got any questions or comments about what I've said or written, then I'd love to get an email from you. Thanks for listening,